What's going on, guys? It's Lucas from userbet back with another video. NFL Week 6 userbet. A userbet is a new fantasy football game mode exclusively on the userbet app, available in the App Store. It's going to be approved in the Google Play Store within a couple days now. A userbet replicates the decision making used in a season-long fantasy football snake draft. You're deciding between two different players in all of these user bets. There's not a budget, auction, player props. Nope. It's strictly deciding between two players and picking which one you want on your team and which one you want to play against. User betting combines the two best elements of fantasy football, and that's the decision making used in a snake draft and the weekly head-to-head matchups. We put it into one game mode, a weekly game mode, so you can snake draft on a weekly basis in a timely manner. And the best part about these game modes is that you can do them on your own time, and they only take a few minutes to complete. And you'll see that here in these videos. We're going to be going through 4, and this video won't be more than 10 minutes long. If you snake draft for your season-long fantasy football leagues, you won't have any trouble picking up user betting. Without further ado, let's get into it. We're going to be doing 2 standard games and 2 super flex games. Let's see who we get dealt and make the most of it. And when I'm getting these players, I'm looking for a lot of colors. The color indicates how many points a player is projected to score. So the more colors, the more likely he is to score a lot of points. And when I'm drafting these teams, I want to be watching the players. So another not so great group of players. This one's pretty good. I really like a couple of matchups here. I'm going to go with Trevor Lawrence over Cooper Rush. I think the Jaguars have a very big week. I think they have the Colts number, and Lawrence plays well. For some reason, the Jags just play well against the Colts, so I think that's a nice pick over Cooper Rush. Same with Barkley over Jonathan Taylor. I think the Colts struggle this week against the Jags defense. I'm going to go with Stevenson over Cook. Not the traditional choice, but I don't think Cook has been playing that well this year. I have him in one of my fantasy leagues, and I've been watching him week in and week out, and he is just hasn't been doing much with the touches he's given. So I'm going to go with Stevenson. He looks like the lead back there, and I figure this to be a high-scoring game. Cleveland is very weak against the run. They got gashed by Austin Eckler last week, and that was a Chargers team that isn't that good against the run. So I think that's a very nice advantage we have there. Chase seems to be poised for a breakout, but he's very hard to trust right now. I'm going to go with Debo against a very weak Atlanta defense. And then Smith, I'm going to take over Drake London. Seems like the offense is manufacturing him touches, so I think he gets involved in this one. He is a little concerning because they could move a lot of those targets over to A.J. Brown, but he's been hot. I'm going to roll with him. Ertz over Kyle Pitts. I think that's an easy one. Pitts has been struggling this year. And for the last one, our flex option, I'm going to go with Sanders. He's been on a tear. Let's do one more standard game. And again, we're looking for a lot of color here. We've got some nice color. I'm going to spin again. Let's spin one more time. Really like this group. The QB matchup is a tough one. I think both play well, but I'm going to roll with Hurts. Actually, I'm going to roll with Lamar against a so-so Giant defense. Dallas is one of my picks this week. I think their defense is red hot. It's a divisional matchup, and this is definitely a step-up game for the Eagles. So I'm going to go with the tried and true Lamar. And then we broke down this matchup in the previous user bet, Barkley over Taylor. Let's go with Jones over Eno Benjamin. He's projected a lot this week, which is a little surprising, just how much he's actually projected. The Seattle defense is very bad, but The top running back for the Packers, I can't pass that one up. Evans over Pittman. I think the Colts offense struggles against this Jaguars team. I'm going to pick Lamb. Russell Wilson is dealing with a lat injury, and Lamb's numbers do go up with Cooper Rush in the lineup. Philly's D is very good, but it's more of a fade on Sutton than it is a pick for Lamb. I don't like where the Rams offense is at all right now. I'm going to roll with Ertz against a weak Seattle team. And Jefferson over Chase, that I think is one of the biggest matchup advantages of this user bet. And when we're going through these player pairs, we don't need a huge edge in every single pair. We just need a couple of big edges that we really like, and this is one of them. Now let's do a couple of superflex. Not a bad group, but let's spin again. Really like this group. Brady over Burrow. Pittsburgh D is a mess. And I'm a little lower on Burrow compared to others. Jones over Cook. Jets rush D is on the weaker side, so I think that's a nice matchup. And Cook just hasn't been doing much with the touches he's been given. Stevenson over Benjamin. Talked about him earlier. I want nothing to do with Carolina and PJ Walker. This is strictly a fade. The Carolina offense and specifically DJ Moore. And that's what I love about these user bets. You don't have to love a player. You can also just really dislike a player he's matched up against. And that's exactly what we're doing here. It's not just about trying to find a needle in a haystack. It's also just fading obviously bad players. I like Olave over Deontay, but he's in concussion protocol, so it's a little iffy right now, but I'm still going to roll with him. Kelsey over Andrews. I think this is going to be a very high-scoring game, and Mahomes is always looking towards Kelsey in the red zone. They don't have any other true number one options to compete with Kelsey, so I think he's a no-brainer. Metcalf or Mixon is a tough one. I'm going to go with Metcalf. I think this is going to be a pretty high-scoring game. Geno shows he can throw it, and Metcalf has been on a tear recently. We could stack him with Geno Smith right here, which I'm going to. Let's stack Geno and DK. If they go off, I've got a very good chance of winning, and that's just another strategy you guys can employ on these user bets if you have a chance to stack somebody, and if you do it and that team does well, you're pretty much guaranteed to win. So let's roll with it. And let's do one more super flex. Couple of good matchups I like here. Hall over Johnson. Let's go with Rodgers over Burrow. I really like Wilson this week against a weak Atlanta rush defense. Starting Tevin Coleman, that's how much I like San Francisco running backs this week. Cook over Benjamin. I'm surprised he's projected this much, and I'm not even that big of a fan of Cook. I just don't think Benjamin is as reliable as someone like Dalvin Cook. Jefferson or Diggs, that's a toss-up. I'm going to go with Diggs. That should be a very high-scoring matchup. Let's take Lamb over Waddle. I just don't trust Skylar Thompson at quarterback. It's a fade on Waddle. Goddard over Pitts, just fading Pitts. He's been horrible this year. Metcalf over Mixon. We've broken this one down. And Lockett over Sutton. I'm just fading Sutton. And Lockett's been very hot this year. Couple of nice matchups we have. And there you have it. Week 6 user bets. Let me know who you guys would have picked down in the comments. And as always, if you want to make decisions like these, go check us out in the App Store. This is just the beginning of a new wave of fantasy. Good luck with your fantasy matchups and good luck with your wagers. I'll see you guys in the next video.